Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the Batman universe, and today we're taking a look at DC Collectibles DC Comics Designer Series, or if you can read in Spanish, I can't, so I'll give you a moment. There you go. The Grey Capullo line, this is figure number 6, the seductive lady, Catwoman. I don't know why I did that, I apologize. Catwoman. Right away I noticed, hey, there is something missing. Where is the other head? DC Collectibles, for whatever reason, probably because people were saying the sculpt on Catwoman's face, the unmasked version or the goggles up version of Catwoman, did not look really good. Now, that really kind of surprises me that they just didn't go back and repaint or maybe resculpt the head a little bit. So we were supposed to get an interchangeable head, and now we don't. So I don't think I would have displayed her with her goggles up head version, just because the eyes were just really weird. I'll try and put in a picture of her. I think I can find her online with the alternate head that in the preview images that they were showing us, and a lot of fan reaction was kind of against that head, which really kind of surprises me. I mean, it's nice that they listened to us, but maybe I would have taken the extra step and resculpted it, because in some figures they do that. Sometimes they'll sculpt a better version, and sometimes the preview image is the better version of it, and then the actual produced image or figure that we get sometimes is a little less desirable than the preview. But anyway, I'm glad to have her. I am really liking this designer series from DC Collectibles. It's been one of the highlights, I think, for me this year, other than a few other figures going to be topping my list in 2014. But the Capullo series has really taken this designer series to a new level, at least in my book. Again, some of the articulations hit or miss, why they're doing what they're doing, but enough rambling. Let's take a look at the package. A purple color palette for Catwoman, as that was a primary color of hers quite a few years ago, but it's nice to kind of see the purple show back up. Here's the side panel art. Here is the one of the few times that he has actually drawn Catwoman. This was early on in the Court of the Owls run, and I think maybe even in Death of the Family is where this particular image comes from. But he has not drawn her very much at all in the New 52 as far as story beats go for Capullo. So it's been kind of interesting, the characters that they have chosen to make into figures, which I'm glad, but he's done far more Bat Family characters than he has done Catwoman, and I forget who the other one, Mr. Freeze was the other one that I was kind of surprised. Again, Mr. Freeze, I really like that figure. The other figures from this wave, if I just would have turned it over, is Red Hood. It gets 2 interchangeable heads. Catwoman was supposed to. Mr. Freeze, that I've already recently reviewed, and Thrasher suit Batman. I really want to pick this guy up. I do like the look of the Thrasher suit, but I really want it for the Bruce Wayne head. And I've kind of said before, I've seen people put the Bruce Wayne head on the Red Hood body. Some people say that the Red Hood body is maybe a little bit too slender, but I've seen quite a few people do the head swap and have a suited Bruce Wayne. I've heard some people have either painted the hands or they've put Commissioner Gordon's hands in the Red Hood, and then just painted the Red Hood hands black, so it just looks like it's for Gordon, like he's wearing a black glove. But anyway, Jonathan Matthews has sculpted all of these figures here, and it looks like Matthews and Matthew Brouillard, if I'm saying that name right, and Jay Carrasco, I'm not even going to say that, sculpted the Thrasher suit with Matthews. So Matthews has a hand in all of these figures, and I've really liked Jonathan Matthews' sculpting up to this point. And then there's the 75 years of Batman logo. So all that long-windedness aside, no wonder my reviews are a little bit long, let's get Catwoman out of package, and we will get a closer look at the designer series Greg Capullo number 6 figure Catwoman. All right, we have Catwoman out of package. A very simple figure. There could have been a little bit more in the articulation department, but I'll get into that in just a second. A beautifully sculpted figure. Again, I said simple. There's not much going on with the figure far as color-wise, as she's in a very tight, skin-tight outfit. Black spandex leather type of an outfit. And it does, hug her body very well. I'm not trying to be objectifying the woman action figure here, but I think you know what I mean. So I think it's done really well. A little bit of oil right there, but done rather well. How many times can I say rather? Now, I was messing with her once I had her out of package. The head pops off rather easy. So again, this was set up to be able to have the interchangeable head, and that was just something that they decided to not do. So I think Olivia said it best in her review that even though the head was probably a little on the ugly side, it still would have been nice to have just as another accessory. Maybe somebody would have decided, the head's not that bad, but they didn't, so it is what it is. But I'm kind of moving her here. She does come with one accessory. It's her whip, and you have to put it in backwards, through her hand, kind of like I'm doing right here. Pull it in through this way, the skinny part up through the top. With the little ball here, it doesn't fit in very well into her hand, trying to force it in this way. But she holds it onto it very well, which is nice. And it's nice soft rubber, much like Robin's cape would be, or Batman's cape for that matter, being the line that it is. And again, decently painted, actually rather well painted. The flesh tone I think is really good on her. The goggles have a nice glittery gold paint to them, so it kind of sparkles a little bit. Now, I know in the comics they do it that it's yellow, that you can see her eyes, but I think it probably would have looked a little weird if they would have done it that way. Her lips are nice, and the way they have her nose sculpted is kind of cute as well. You can see the goggles going in the back, and you can kind of see the folds in the back part of the cowl that she wears, and just the creases in the outfit from it being a latex type of a rubber. So very simple. You can see I have a little bit of paint blemish right there. It appears that I either have some silver that got on the black, or the boot itself, maybe that's white, that the boot itself is actually white that's painted black, that it's kind of scraped off. I think I can cover that up easy enough with a marker or some paint. Or maybe I'll just leave it like that, maybe shows a little bit of wear. The buckles look really nice. The detailing and the sculpting that is on the figure is done really well. It's just hard to do a lot of sculpting on this type of figure that wears a skin-tight outfit. But you could even see the detail. We'll zoom in a little bit here. In the zipper that kind of runs down. See the, like choker type of a collar. And what I believe that's supposed to be a cat there. Too much? Maybe I'm just imagining things, but I thought it kind of looked like a cat. But just the way that the zipper runs all the way down is done really well. It's got a little bit of a metallic wash to it as well. So let's get out of extreme close-up mode. We'll take a look at our articulation. As you could tell, her head was very well articulated. She can look up decently and looks down pretty good. Has a nice tilt, a nice little ball peg. Again, was supposed to be able to, it does come off rather easy. She was supposed to have an alternate head, but did not come with it. Arms do go all the way around. They're a nice ball and socket, can get up almost to a 90-degree straight out position. She does bend at the elbow. I don't believe she has a rotation at the elbow. No, her rotation is at the glove. And she has, then the hand I really like, is sculpted really well, and you can kind of make out her claws on her gloves, so I think they would do a little bit of scratching damage to you. The legs are the part that, I mean, the Capullo series has been articulated out of a good amount of their figures. Some not so much than others, but I was really hoping that Catwoman was going to have more than just the standard DC Direct articulation. I was really hoping she was going to have kind of the T-jointed ball hips, but I half wonder if just for the sculpting and the sensualness that Catwoman is supposed to be, if they thought that the ball and socket peg would kind of take away from the hourglass shape. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I think that would have taken away from her. But with Catwoman, you kind of want to put her in some action poses, being that this is the designer series. But so that's the only real knock I'm going to take off for her. She does have an upper thigh cut, has a single bend at the knee, which again is kind of sad, being that it's the designer series. A lot of the figures in the series do come with double jointed knees. Mr. Freeze did, Batman did, the Talon did, Nightwing did. Being that her leg doesn't go in and out, she gets this like ballerina little pose for bending the knees back, so it's more of a seated position that she gets into, so the legs really don't do much as far as articulation go. You can't get her, I mean, she can stand on something if it was up a little bit higher to get one leg up on, but you're not going to get a kicking motion out of her at all, which is kind of sad. Does swivel at the boot, and that's it, no ankle at all. My leg appears that it's turned in a little bit. I think you can kind of see that. A little bit of hot water, and I could straighten that right out. But she appears to be standing just fine. Now, of course, I said that. There she goes. So we'll bring up Batman from the Capullo series, and we'll get a closer look at the two of them together. All right, here are the two together. Now, Catwoman is wearing heels, and my particular Batman, his left leg is a little bit shorter, so he's kind of leaning a little bit. But even that, Batman is, the camera's not doing it really good justice, but Batman is a tad bit taller than Catwoman, and that is accurate to the comics. With Selina's high heels on, that does make her quite a bit taller than most male characters, but Batman is still taller than Catwoman, and it works. And the two look really good together. Granted, it's the Capullo series, so everything looks nice and even all the way through. I'm really, really happy with this Capullo series. Yes, there's been a few QC issues here and there, but for the most part, I think hands down, the Capullo series is the premier line from DC Collectibles right at the moment. If you could find a nice, solid, perfect figure, then these figures have been tops in my book this year. All right, final thoughts about this figure. I do like her. She's simple. She obviously fits in very well with the Capullo series line. I do think she's a must-have for the line. Articulation-wise, I would have liked a little bit more in the leg region. Other than that, the arms articulated very well. It would have been nice to get her in some more sleeky, seductive type of poses, or to be able to get her in a crouching pose. But nonetheless, she is beautifully sculpted and painted very well. Mine just has a little bit of a paint scuff at the boot, but that's nothing I'm going to, jump up and down about and get mad. A beautifully sculpted figure, and a very well executed figure too. Again, like I said, the legs could have been sculpted a little bit better as far as articulation goes, but that's not an over... it's not a deal breaker for me. Again, most of my figures end up kind of being in a vanilla pose, or maybe I'll slightly pose them a little bit. I didn't point it out, but she does have a peg hole, so if you do have a spare stand around, I think she will benefit from a stand. I can get her standing easy, but with my leg turned in just a little bit. Again, I can heat that up with some hot water and get that posed. But even still, I think she could be prone to toppling over on a shelf. So I'd recommend getting a stand for her. I believe in 2015, DC is going to sell bags of stands that you can purchase. Although I think that each figure should come with a stand. But neither here nor there. Today we've been taking a look at the DC Comics designer series, the Greg Capullo line. This is figure number 6. It is, of course, Catwoman. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman universe signing off saying we will see you guys next time.